Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Are you at that point where you believe you need a man, where you need that special someone to complete your life and to make it better? Well, if so, I want you to pay close attention because today we're going to talk about the difference between needing a man and wanting a man. Now, I know you're at that point and go, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a huge difference. The difference between needing a man and wanting a man is the difference between a lightning bug and lightning. Two totally complete different experiences. So let's just start off by explaining what a need is. Okay. The only thing you really need in life is food, water, and air, right? Because what happens if you don't get food, water, and air? Ultimately, eventually, you're going to die. So you need those things because if without them, you're going to die. A want is a desire, okay? Where it's, I want that thing, I prefer to have that thing, but if I don't get that thing, I'm going to be okay. And see, and that's one of the biggest myths, the biggest lies that cause you to struggle in your love life because your desire to need a man and feeling that if you don't have one, you're not going to be okay. Your life's not going to be okay. You're not going to be happy. And I know this shows up in many, many ways. It's, if I don't get a man, then I can't get married. If I can't get married, I can't have kids. And if I can't have kids, I won't be okay. And I get that because there's a time in my life where I felt the same way. I felt I needed a woman. Quite transparently, my dad died when I was 15 years old. And there was a huge void in my life because my dad was my best friend. He was my world. He was my everything. And so when he was taken from me or when he made his transition, there was a huge hole in my life. All that love that I was getting from that relationship was gone and it was empty and void. So as I grew older, I wanted to get that love back. I wanted to fill that void. And I felt that I needed a woman to get that because I couldn't have a child on my own. So I needed a woman, right? And so I put myself out there, ultimately found a woman who wanted the same thing, and we were completely wrong for each other. We made each other miserable, even though we had the same goal, the same desires in life. And also, I got to that point after doing, a lot of mirror time, a lot of work on myself, and looking at the choices and decisions I made, which led to my misery. And I realized that, you know what? I don't need a woman. And yes, I'd love to have a family. I'd love to get married. I'd love to have a son of my own. But if I don't have one, I'm going to be okay. And that that breakthrough led me to some amazing changes. Because you see, when you feel you need a man, you act from a place of fear. You act from a place of desperation. Okay, because you're going to try and say and do anything to get that man to make that relationship work. But when you want a man and you're standing in your power and you're standing in your true authenticity, your true authentic self, you're just like, you know what? I deserve a good man. And I'm not going to settle for less than I deserve. Not because you're arrogant, not because you think you're better than anybody else, but because you know you're awesome and you deserve an awesome man and an awesome relationship. And it's amazing how this works. I've seen it with so many of my one-on-one clients that when they get to the point where, you know what, I'll be okay. And you know what, things will work out. When they get to that point, there's an ease to them. Then they open up and they just start enjoying the process and they're detached from it. See, when you believe you need a man, you're attached that it has to show up this way. And if it doesn't show up this way, you're never going to be happy. And so you force and you do things to make it happen. That's trying to make that square peg fit in a round hole. And there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of stress with that. But when you're in that point where, you know what, I don't need a man and I'll be okay. And you're then into, well, I want a man and I'm just going to live my life and do things and put myself out there in a way that gives me a better chance of finding that man and creating that relationship. And you're not attached to the results. Well, that's when the ease comes. And you see this happens very often in life in other areas. You ever hear the couple who wanted to get pregnant and they tried everything? And then, I had this happen with good friends of mine where, they tried all, in vitro, they tried, going to this special church because there was a special saint that helped women who couldn't get pregnant and, did the rosary, these prayers. And they actually got to the point where they're like, you know what, it's not going to happen. And they actually started the procedure of adoption. And a month into that procedure of, going the adoption route, she wound up getting pregnant. And this day, she now has 2 children, okay? Because they stopped getting at that point where, you know what, we need to have a child. Okay, where it's like, it's just not going to happen. I'm okay with that. Still my preference, and boom, the universe took care of the details. So I know this may sound trivial, but it's so important. You've got to understand there's a difference between needing a man and wanting a man. So there's a way to tell what's going on for you, because you can say it. You can, Joe, I don't need a man. Okay, and I get that, but the reality is that we're all wired to love and to be loved, and so we all prefer to have special people to love, that we can share our life with, and that we can emotionally connect to. Okay, but we'll be okay if we don't get it. So when you're at that point, you want to gauge, how are you coming into this? Okay, what energy are you bringing into this? Is it a desperation one from a place of need, or is it coming from a place of want or preference where, yeah, I'd love to get it, but if it doesn't happen, I'll be okay. Okay, because when you come in from that place, that's when you're open to attracting the kind of man, the kind of love that you really, really, really want. So here's how you do it. So you take a step out of your life. Okay, we know we call this mirror time, and you simply observe your life. Observe the choice and decisions you make, the relationships you've had, the dating experiences you've had, and honestly assess, do you come from a place of need where you're trying to force, you're trying to make it happen? Okay, and you're just really, I don't want to say aggressive, but you're really trying, your efforts try real hard to make it happen. Or do you, and because basically you're attached to the results, is that I got to do this so I can get that. That's how you know that you're in that need. Okay, or is it from a place of want, preference, where I'd love to get that, and that's my true heart's desire, but if this doesn't work out or I don't get it, I'll be okay. And so you're not attached to the results. You prefer those results, but if it doesn't work, then you'll be okay with that. Now, that doesn't mean if it doesn't work that you don't get disappointed, you don't get upset, you don't get depressed for a little while. Those are human emotions, human feelings. And I always say that you'd be inhuman if you didn't feel those things. But after you have what I call the pity party, where after you have that pity party, then you're like, okay, I'm good. Time to get back out there again. Okay, that's how you know. So here's your homework for today. I want you to take some mirror time, really step back, take a good, honest assessment at your life, at how you've done things, and say, have you been acting from a place of need, where it's from fear, it's from desperation, or have you been acting from a place of want, a place of preference, where, this is my heart's desire, this is what I'd really love, but if it doesn't happen, I'll be okay. Okay, that's what you want to do. That will give you a huge insight into where you are, and if you need to make any changes to help you get to where you need to be to create that relationship you desire and deserve. So go ahead, take that mirror time, and if you have any questions on this, you can go ahead and put them in the box below. And if you have any other questions on men, dating, relationship, feel free to put those there as well, because I read them all, and very often that gives me the direction on what you're looking for, so I can create blogs and videos that will really help you on your journey, because that's what we try and do here at GPS for Love, is give you the knowledge, skills, and tools that you need to create the results that you desire and deserve. So go ahead, put it in the box below, and I'll see you next time. As always, honor, privilege to be with you. Much love.